what is kind of the hardest thing or the hardest aspect of being a priest, and what is one of the coolest aspects of being a priest now that you have accepted that calling that the Lord had very clear?
Yeah, so for me, the hardest part, at least of discernment, like just seeing if it's what the Lord wanted for me, if that was priesthood, it was definitely celibacy. So, as a 16, 17-year-old guy, even now at 29, the idea of never getting married sounds kind of insane, sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And yet over time, as I really prayed through it, I realized celibacy, the call to celibacy, was an invitation from the Lord. It wasn't him oppressing me with anything, or beating me down with rules or making me a slave of something. It was the Lord inviting me to love people the way his son loved people, because Jesus was celibate, right? And to be called to conformity with Jesus, which is what the heart of the priesthood is also to be called to love in a celibate way, to let go of one hand to hold many, in a sense. And the second part of it, Jesus says celibacy, you choose it for the sake of the kingdom. That for a young man or a young woman to choose a celibate life, especially in today's culture, is radical. It causes people to stop and say, wait, like, what is this guy living for? Because if he's not getting married here, right, he must not be living for this life. And the truth is, like, as a priest, I'm not living for this life. I'm living for another life, another world, the kingdom. And that's what celibacy points to. So it becomes, in that sense, a really beautiful gift to be united with Christ, to love as he loves, and to be a sign to the world of where I'm putting my value, like where my treasure is. And so even though celibacy is hard, I'm really grateful for it, because it makes me a better priest, and it makes me a better man and a better disciple. That's in terms of discernment. In terms of day-to-day stuff as a priest, I think the hardest thing is just time. The last parish I was at, there were 2 priests and about 15,000 parishioners. So with confessions, with the masses, with funerals and weddings and baptisms, it was pretty much nonstop. And also you need to hang out with your friends sometimes, so you're trying to balance everything. And so that can be kind of challenging, but you give your time to the Lord, and he gets you where you need to be. I would say the coolest part of being a priest, I mean, the best part objectively is definitely offering the sacrifice of the Mass, in the person of Jesus Christ. I mean, the Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith as Catholics. I also personally just love hearing confessions. That's hard as well, but it's so meaningful to see people who have been away from the sacrament for a long time come back, and they walk in that confessional with sin, and they walk out of it without sin. And to be in the middle there of that moment of grace is really extraordinary. But on a basic level for me too, one of the best parts of being a priest is just being called father. I showed up as a 25-year-old in my parish, and everybody called me father, and that is a deep relationship to have. Someone to be a spiritual father for them is pretty unreal. So I tell the story of a time I was at a gym, and I was wearing plain clothes because I was working out. So I almost always wear my collar, but when I'm at the gym, I don't want to get this all sweaty. Yeah. So this middle-aged guy walked up to me, and he said, hey, are you using that machine? And I said, no, I'm not. And go ahead. And he said, wait. And he got a confused look, and he said, wait, father? And I was like, son? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But it was a funny moment in the gym there with this middle-aged guy and this 25-year-old, and he's calling him father, and so that's just, for me, is definitely one of the coolest parts of being a priest.
Hi, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and share it with your friends. Bye!